Hello, and welcome to the Knit Girls. This is episode 317.
18. I didn't change that.
Oh.
That's what you get for letting me make the show notes.
Leslie did the show notes today.
Yeah.
Because I was at the dentist. Because what I like to do on my day off is go to the dentist. I'm Laura, also known as Lala.
I'm Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les. We're in a different place.
We are. It is 10/10/2016, and we are actually recording at Leslie's house. Sorry, I'm putting stitches on my yarn as I talk, which is always a good plan.
It's going to end there very badly.
Super well prepared for everything. Anyway, so we are at Leslie's house. She's got her craft room all set up. It's gorgeous.
Oh no, it is not all set up. It is enough. It is set up enough to do things. And
it's totally lying for you.
Yeah, no, it's totally not ready. It is partially set up. This is all my fiber right there. Only what you can see. That's all there is. And then I have some, it's easy to lie when Laura's distracted.
I know. I'm like, oh, whatever.
And then I have my first batch of yarn came out of the freezer for the last time. It's got to be brought up here, though. That's what my 13-year-old indentured servant is for.
Yeah, so Leslie's freezing her yarn because she found a carpet beetle a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So she is being proactive.
Haven't seen any more, but anyway, so works in progress. This is a knitting show, usually. We are unintentionally matching.
Yes.
I was wearing this shirt first, so I would just like to say...
I got up at 5:30, so there's no way that you were
I put
wearing
this shirt on
first.
30 minutes ago, so I was in this house in this shirt first.
It's like 9/10.
Possession is 9/10 of the law, yeah.
There you go.
So I have a couple of works in progress and some spinning, and that's pretty much it, because most of my attention still this week has been on cleaning, trying to get my house put together. It's still not put together, but whatever. So I'm working on two different Excuse Me shawls. These are both patterns by Stephen West. Well, they're the same pattern by Stephen West.
By Stephen West. Being knit out of different yarn.
Yes. One is being, sorry, my sports bra is not cooperating. One is being knit out of Laura's hand spun, and one is being knit out of my hand spun. I didn't intend to cast on two of them. It just happened.
I feel like you did, because you cast on the first one, and then you came over to my house and said, I'm taking some...
But I intended to rip the first one out. But then I got back and was looking at it again, and I was like, oh, I really like the colors. Maybe I can just fix it. And
there you go.
Anyway. So, excuse me, this is, it's not going to look very much different from last week, because now it's got so many stitches on the needles that it just takes a while.
Well, looking at the ball, so this is the ball, and it's much smaller. This is soft powder. It's a hand spun that I spun out of Southern Cross.
The only way you can really tell is here. This is the corner where I had just started the increases last week, and so this is the last little bit where I have that crazy wing on the edge.
Okay.
So I increased it from like one or two of these little ribs to whatever, like 10. So I'm just going to keep going probably until I run out of this blue and green, and then I'm just going to call it done, whether or not it's the right number of stitches, because it doesn't really matter. It's one of those...
I thought you were going to add another...
I thought I was too, but I think I'm going to have too much. Like, I think it's going to end up being too big. We'll see when I get to that point. Maybe I'll put it on some...
We think that these are both probably around a DK weight.
Yeah, sport.
Did this
DK.
have actual tag on it that told you how many yards? No. I would say around 350 then.
Yeah.
I can actually look it up if you want.
It's okay.
I
might wait until I get to the end of this ball and then put it on like a lifeline and block it and see.
That would be a good move.
Like what it looks like.
I like that idea a lot, actually.
So this is what it looks like on the, what I'm calling the right side, the brighter side. Mm-hmm. And then it's mostly gray on the back, only if you sort of stretch out the brioche can you see the color on the back side of it. I'm still really enjoying knitting brioche. I didn't really expect to enjoy it quite so much, but...
Well, you did the brioche hat.
I did. And it gave me problems when it came to the decreasing, when it was anything but straight knitting. But I finally figured out what I had done wrong.
And now you're increasing in brioche, so there you go.
I'm doing like 1 to 3 increases and 3 to 1 decreases. mostly. Nothing too crazy or outlandish. But I'm just going to start making up words since Laura's distracted. I'm just going to start. Michael will do that sometimes.
He'll just start saying
He'll
stuff.
just, start, saying random, usually gross things to see if I'm paying attention.
Oh, well, there you go.
So
I'm back with you now.
So that's one, and then my other, excuse me, is, I think I need a bigger bag.
Well, I have that in a bigger bag.
I have
actually.
bigger bags. I think I need to move it to a bigger bag. So this is my other excuse me shawl. This is out of my hand spun. Well, this might be part of it. It's taking up
yeah, that might be part of it.
all the space.
The Nostipin might be helping.
Oh, I'm in the middle of a row. Oh, that's right, because I got halfway through the row and realized that I had forgotten to do some increases, so I stopped. Because it was like 1:30 in the morning.
Oh, and you were going to rip back?
Yeah, I was working on ripping back. I guess I can do that while we talk. So this is the other one. This is the... I don't know which side's going to be the right side and the wrong side. This one is what I thought was going to be the wrong side, but it's the more consistent side, color-wise. And then this one is the one where the colors just sort of...
I love this.
Go crazy.
No, I love it because it's that...
It's like stripes. It's more Steve and West than... Yeah, and then I did another gradient on top of it. Although the yarns at this point are like... It's like bulky and sport. They're very different weights.
They are different weights.
But...
Like, when you look at them, they appear to be the same. But then... They're so tricksy. They're tricksy yarns.
Yeah.
But this one is much denser than that one.
So that's it. That's pretty much. I'm knitting these on size 9s, which are, I don't know, 5.5 millimeter, I think. These do not have the numbers on them. Oh yeah, they do. 5.5 millimeters. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't have anything finished. I have all the mojo, but just none of the time, and I refuse to cast anything new on until I finish something. Just right now. Not as a general rule, but like right now. Because I have so many things I want to do. But
so your 2 excuse me's. What else do you have? What do you want to do? All the things?
All the things.
So what's your short list of things that you want to do?
I want to knit more of these because I use them when I'm spinning and they keep me from getting too hot. These are Marysburg slippers. I think they were a free pattern. I knit them like a couple months ago.
Oh, yeah, the Dragonfly fabrics.
Yeah, and it's like a DK or a worsted. I can't remember.
It's a worsted, I believe.
And they knit up really quick, and it was a free pattern, I think. Or maybe it was just that I owned it. I can't remember.
I think she'll be at SAF.
And
Dragonfly will.
I'd like to do that. There's a couple of sweaters I'd really like to do. I'm really sort of itching to cast on a fingering weight sweater, which makes 0 sense for me. Because I've still got Recoleta on the needles. And I realized that after I told you guys that I had no socks on the needles, that I'm a complete and total liar. Because I have the General Hog Buffer socks from
Yeah, you do.
the New Directions and Sock Knitting.
You are a liar.
I don't know, they're somewhere back there. And then I have a pair of Coupor socks on the needles too.
Oh, yeah.
So, I'm a total liar.
And she has a new book coming out too, so that's going to be tons of fun.
So, that's it for me. That's all I've really been working on. What about you?
I have been working on...
Oh, that's crazy bright in comparison to that blue.
I know, isn't it fun? A baby sweater. So this is a Kelly Brooker pattern called Worthy, and I was hoping to get at least through the first row after I put the sleeves on holders, but it's a top-down raglan. I'll just discuss it as I knit. It's a top-down raglan. It comes in sizes newborn, like preemie newborn, all the way up to quite a bit larger. I was going to do the 0 to 3 month size, and then I changed my mind because it was the same cast on. So it goes from small newborn all the way up to 10 years old. And it looks like there's this adorable child, and it uses a gradient. Hers does, her version. It looks like that. It is just a top-down raglan, and then you use one color for the top, and then there's a slip stitch pattern when you transition, which is what I'm working on right now. And then it's just going to be this orange for the whole way, rest of the way down. So let me see if I can kind of...
I didn't talk long enough, so I ruined
You
the
didn't.
things.
You ruined all the things. I was trying to get you to talk longer, too.
Yeah. Yeah, what are you going to cast on?
What are you casting on next? So it's this blue blob. Now, it's a top-down raglan, and I just got through to the sleeves. And this is the 3 to 6 month size, I believe. See, I changed my size. I was going to do 1 to 3. And the 1 to 3 size and the 3 to 6 have the same number of stitches cast on. And then when you increase out for the raglan, that's when it changes. So this is the 3 to 6 month size, because I had enough of this blue that I was like, I'll do 3 more rows. I actually have probably enough to do a baby hat to go with it. Oh, I might do that. I might do a cute little baby hat to go with. And now it's going to be the orange from the rest of the way down. So this is Cumberland DK from Twist Fiber Studio in the Under the Sea colorway. This is the same yarn that I used for Nick's hat last week. And then this bright orange, I got, both of these were SSK purchases.
Look at you, being all virtuous.
And so I got the orange to go with it at SSK, and that is Frank's Tile from Two Guys Yarn Company, also in a DK. So look, I'm using up SSK yarn. Maybe I'll actually make a dent in it before the next SSK. Maybe.
I'll take away your credit card.
Will you? If I do or if I don't?
If you don't.
So, I don't know. I think I only have 6 skeins left that I bought. Pretty sure. I didn't buy a whole lot this year. So, I was pretty good. But, yeah, I'm actually spinning some fiber. Now, Mom bought me a ton of stuff and put it away for Christmas. So that doesn't count, because I didn't actually buy it. But I have a
She bought me one thing to put aside for Christmas, and now I'm like,
I know, I was just thinking
I can't even remember what the color was. I know where we got it, but I was like, man, I want it.
Mine was a skein. I got a skein from 2 skeins maybe of Western Sky that she put away, and then a gradient pack from Miss Babs that she put away for me. But we're not at all spoiled by my mother. Not even a little. So that is the only thing that I'm working on.
Oh.
This is it. The one and done. I do have a finished object, though.
Don't let her fake virtuosity, like, fool you. That's the only thing she brought.
No, this is the only thing that well, yeah. I do have other whips. I have a lot of whips. But that's the thing. So I have so many whips right now that I feel like I have to finish some things before I can cast on. Like, I would like to finish 2 pairs of socks before I cast on a new pair of socks. I would like to, which is sad because I have this sweater that I really want to knit from some Jacob yarn that I got from Ross Farms. We did a barter earlier this year, and I swatched it, and I really want to cast on that sweater and wear it to SAF, but
that's like 2 weeks away.
I know, it's 3. Shut your face. Such a jerk. But then I look at all the things that I have on the needles. I reorganized my craft room a little bit this weekend, which was a total mistake. And I have a lot of things on the needles, so I need to finish those. At least a couple things. Like, I'll cast on a new pair of socks, but I really want to cast on Halloween socks, too.
Yeah, I want to cast on those Fright Night socks from that yarn from Stranded Dye Works.
Yes, I have those. I have some Marigold Jen that's just absolutely gorgeous. And then the yarn that we got from Sadie, that's the green, that bright green.
Splatterdash.
Yeah, I kind of want to cast on those too. And then I have like 85 skeins of self-striping Halloween yarn, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's that many, but I have a lot. Like, for some reason, I'm obsessive about Halloween yarn. I'm obsessive about a lot of things, but Halloween yarn would be one of those. Look, I got to the end of the row. So, this is what it looks like. Not that you can see any better, but look, it's a wee little sweater. It's so cute. Oh, I did change my, to get gauge, I changed my needles. So I went down from a 4 to a 3, and then a 6 to a 5, since I'm a looser knitter. Alright, finished objects. I have a whole bag of stuff over here that I didn't unpack. I still need to weave in ends on these. These kind of count as Halloween socks because they're Harry Potter inspired colorways. Nomadic Yarns does a ton of Harry Potter inspired colorways, and I kind of want them all. And we've discussed that before and how that would cost
about $300 to get everything she wanted.
Yeah, so
just Harry Potter themed.
Just Harry Potter. She's got some other ones I really want too. These are cute sock walkers. I don't have ones like these. I have my fancy wooden ones, and then I've got the blue ones from...
I don't even remember where I got those.
Not Bryson. These were Bryson, I think.
Maybe.
From Hank of Yarn. Maybe, perhaps.
Possibly.
I don't know. My socks don't match. And I'll tell you why. Because one of them has 64 stitches, and the other has 60.
Again?
I don't know how it happened. But...
I feel like this is a recurring problem.
It totally is. I don't even know what to say about it. And I didn't realize it until, so this is the one that came first. I can tell because the heel has many more colors than this heel. But I have two different size feet. Like, my right foot is smaller than my left foot, so it works.
That's not unusual, but it's usually, like, just by a little tiny bit.
Well, 4 stitches is half an inch. That's a little tiny bit.
It's your feet, dude.
Whatever. So what? I also started them in different color sequences. But whatever. I think what really happened...
How did you figure it out?
How did I figure out that I was missing stitches? When I went to do the ribbing, it didn't match up.
Oh, the colors didn't...
Well, no. Like, it's a 2x2 ribbing, and if you're off by... I had 61 stitches on the needle.
Oh,
and I was like, this is not working how it's supposed to work. Which is 9 times out of 10 when I catch it, it's in the ribbing. And then I'm like, screw it, I'm not ripping back. Which is hilarious that I know that it's in the ribbing because I do it so often.
Yeah. Could counteract that by doing top down.
Oh, I could. And casting on the same number of stitches. Could do that. I think what really happens is I start increasing out for my toes, and then I get distracted, and I just assume, like, I put it down, and I just assume that I've increased everything that I need to increase.
Yeah.
And I haven't. These are toe up with a fish lips kiss heel. Nothing fancy. They don't match, because they're different stitch counts. But they're really pretty. It's the McGonagall colorway from Nomadic Yarns. I got the Bellatrix, which has a little bit different. It's the same color scheme, but it's a little bit different. So I'm not certain if that's going to go on the needles next or not. But I need to weave in the end so I can wear them. This is my second pair of socks out of Nomadic Knits yarn. I think this is the Trusty sock base from her. So she's got a bunch of different bases. I want to try them all. Leslie's knit out of her sport base.
The Twisty Sport, yeah.
And enjoyed it. I'd like to try her Brit sock, which is the FL as well. But yeah, they're cute. They're going to my sock drawer. Yay, new socks. I need some new red socks because I've blown out some socks. And obviously, we wear red a little bit.
You know, that's actually a topic I wanted to talk to people about because as I was setting up my craft room, I got all this different storage from IKEA that I bought most of it. Well, I bought all of it when I was in Jersey, but...
And there was the local IKEA.
Yeah, but I didn't actually use it really until we got here, except I used a couple of them for fabric. And as I was sorting things, I came across, I don't know, 3 or 4 pairs or single socks where the other one had, like, the heel had blown out crazily, or they were just super felted and worn on the bottom. And I wonder what people, like, do people try to repurpose them? Because I was thinking I could, like, essentially cut them to make them flat and serge the edges.
You can do coasters
and
or
do
cat
something,
toys
like sew it all together in a blanket or something. I don't know. That's what I wonder. Do people, you do anything with your stuff? With your socks that are, you know?
That is an interesting question.
So, I don't know.
Huh. I don't know what people do.
Anyway, I guess, yeah, you could, like, serge the bottom and make them, like, cozies, like can cozies or something.
Yeah, I've visibly mended a couple. Like, if they're not felted, then I'll mend them. And then I have a cool visible darning book that I got after hearing Sylvia speak at DFW. She did the talk about visible mending, and I was like, yay, I'm totally into this. And then it's been sitting there. Yeah. But I'll bring that over if you want.
Oh, I'm just curious.
We do have good resources. Yeah. And for Quidditch one year for Harry Potter House Cup, they had mend socks, and so that's when I did that gleaning and mended like 3 pairs.
Yeah.
Had tiny holes or had tiny issues.
Are you sad you're not in the Harry Potter thing this
I am.
go round?
I am. I totally signed up. Did I not tell you that?
No, you said you were going to take a break.
And then I lied and I did it anyway. But I'm not doing, no, I said I'd take a break from, okay, I did say I was going to take a break.
From owls.
From the whole thing. And then I decided that I was going to take a break from owls. So I haven't done an owl.
Okay.
And I haven't done any Quidditch. I've been doing my, 2 minimum. And I'm a terrible, member of my team because I've only been getting, 100 points. Not even 100, I don't think, a month. Because I've been working on finishing things up.
Yeah.
So I'm still, and I haven't been reading the board, at all. I've got to try to catch up maybe tonight. I don't know. Life's been so busy that it's been hard to keep up with stuff like that. I know I owe some people PMs too that I need to get back to, and I don't know, I owe people stuff, so I've got to today I was off of work, so I actually got my life back on track a little bit.
That sounds very dramatic.
Meh.
That's my garage door closing, if you can hear that. Sorry, I don't know what Michael's doing. Opening, maybe.
I don't know.
So I'm going to talk briefly about my spinning, and then you're going to talk about your spinning while I download the Patreon sheet that I completely forgot to do before we started.
I do have some things to talk about, so that works perfect.
Debacle. So, I don't know, 3 weeks ago, it was knit night at Laura's, and I had completely forgotten my knitting, and so I started spinning on...
Luckily, I had one of her wheels at my house.
That's true. It just so happened.
And I had some fiber that she said she wanted, so I bought an extra from the club.
Yeah. So I ganked Laura's club fiber for Into the World.
Which I'm so glad I rejoined. I don't know what I'm going to do because I only got 3 or 6 months when I re-signed up.
So this is Yipe Stripes. It's a Targi base. And I don't know, they're not my typical colors, but the way they blend together are really nice aesthetically. So I had spun one bobbin that night, and then I decided last night when we were, here it is. As a group, several friends and I were watching the debate, digital, long distance or whatever, and chatting about it. And as I was doing that, I was spinning. Well, spinning isn't quite as even as it was when I was at your house.
That was an interesting debate.
So this is what I spun last night. This is what I spun a couple weeks ago. And I'm spinning the third...
so you divided it into 3s.
Yeah. I'm spinning the third part of it now on the wheel, which is over here. I was going to spin as we record, but it's a little clicky. You can hear clicking noises.
Do you want to explain what wheel it is?
It's the Acadia wheel by Infinite Twist. It's very beautiful, and we will do a video about it at some point.
We'll do a wheel review segment at some point.
That'd be fun. Yeah, we could talk about the different parts of all of the wheels and how the flyers differ.
We might have to do it at my house because I can't physically bring all my wheels over here.
It's true. You need a trailer.
Well, I could. Now I couldn't.
And a pit crew to move them for you.
I'll take the pit crew.
So that's what I'm spinning. The third batch, part of it is on my wheel right now. Oh, goodness. And Laura's going to talk about her spinning.
I am.
While I download Patreon stuff.
I was very inspired by Spinzilla, even though that we were not having a team this year.
Thank goodness.
So we do have a lot going on. Yeah. So I have a present for you in my bag too.
Oh yeah, I like presents.
One of our viewers gave me a present when I was in Nashville for you. So one of the things that I finished.
Sorry, I made us huge, and nobody needs to see that.
So for our Patreon prize, I spun some Southern Cross, and now I kind of wish I could keep it because it's so pretty. But this is a Bond Surrey Alpaca blend that I am just in love with.
And it's darker than it looks on the screen. The lighting here isn't perfect yet, so.
It has like a dark charcoal gray and then a lighter like bluish gray, like a slates, some pinks and lots of oranges. And it's just, and this is not like my typical colorway and it's not my typical fiber, but it's really, really pretty. I'm digging it immensely. So this is, hey Neelix. Your dogs look so
now, can
small
you get them out of here?
compared to when Michael came in. Your dogs look so small compared to my giant dog. But this is, I think this was May's colorway from Southern Cross Fibers Club, and it is so squishy and amazing. And I might have bought some more in a D-stash for me, in a different color. He does 2 colorways per club, and you can get both. I'm down to 1 because I can't keep up. But this was the one that I got, and then there's a ton of these on D-stash right now, so I re-bought some. They needed to get home.
You are terrible.
And I wanted them. So I love, this Bond alpaca. Who knew that I would have liked a Bond, which is kind of similar to Cordale.
Yeah, I wouldn't have
and
guessed.
An alpaca blend. 280 yards, fractally spun. I split it in half, spun it 1/2 on one bobbin, split the other half into thirds, and then spun that. So
thirds or fourths?
Thirds. 1, 2, 3. 1/2 here. 1, 2, 3. Jerk. Counting. Anyway, so that's 280 yards, and that's going to go to last month's Patreon person, and it's like a sport DK weight. And then I spun this. This is from some batlings from Knit Spin Farm. It is around 300 yards. It is a 2-ply. It is nice and happy. It does have some sari silk every once in a while, which is lots of fun. It's that bright green, like a leaf peeper, just pops in.
Leaf peeper?
Yeah.
What is a leaf peeper?
It's a type of bug.
Oh, okay.
So it just pops in every once in a while, but it's really nice and squishy. And this is staying with me because it's woolen spun. It's not quite as even. I don't find it, when I spin woolen things like bats, I don't find them, my spinning is not even enough for me to give them away as a whole, unless I'm really happy with it. I have high standards for what I give away usually. So that's 300 yards of a 2-ply, and those were just a bunch of little batlings. It was around 3 ounces, I want to say. I can check my Etsy, but... And this was, I think, the pasture colorway of her bats. She's got some bats up right now that I want so bad.
Don't do it.
And then this is also batlings from Joanna Spring, but the batlings that I got from her are these pink, and then I applied it with a natural gray. So this is around 6 ounces of fiber, and I have a plan for this. It's going to be like a long cowl, like the ones that Adrian from Hello Yarn keeps
The
doing.
full proofs?
Yes, it's going to be a full proof, I think. And I still have like maybe an ounce on a bobbin, maybe a little bit less, of this pink left over. I didn't spin enough gray, so I'm spinning more gray right now so I can ply that last little bit. This is 500 yards of a 2-ply, so 1 ply is that pink and the other ply is the gray. And there's some gold in there. It's just really, really pretty. So I think that would be a pretty foolproof. Yeah. And it had some natural gray in Joanna's bats as well. So it just kind of, it's a very mellow but squishy and happy, like a merino. The gray is a merino. It's a merino that Mom got me a pound of when we got our wheels.
Wow.
So it's just been
Is it like
hanging
an
out.
Ashland Bay?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you already say that? Sorry, I was distracted.
No, I didn't say Ashland
Okay.
Bay, but it's just like a natural gray merino.
Oh, yay.
That yeah, that's it from one of our viewers. And she doesn't sell on Etsy. I asked her, and she said she didn't. Because it smells really good, and one's unscented. The other one. But anyway, I have a bag over here full of stuff.
Yay.
But that is all that I am spinning on right now. My goal was to spin around a pound, and that's what I got plied. Right about. So, because like 6 ounces to 8 ounces, that'll be 8 ounces when it's done. And then 4 ounces and 4 ounces. So we're in a little bit less than a pound. But I've also been spinning on I have some Cordale Merino that we bought the fleece of and we processed, and I'm taking the belly wool, which is a more elastic wool that's been washed, and I'm just hand carding it, and just as I take Pearl outside and she runs around like a nutter and barks at other dogs, because I'm a good puppy mommy. I have a fenced in backyard.
It makes her happy, I'm sure.
Totally, like, and her tail's wagging the entire time.
Yeah.
So, I take her outside and she runs around like a nutter in the backyard, and I sit and spin. I've been doing that like 30 minutes a day, because it's been like mid-80s here.
Yeah, tolerable.
Yeah, so it's more tolerable for going outside, and I've been doing that on the lunchroom, on my back patio. But yeah, we have a book to review.
And we're doing it a different way. So if we crash and burn...
It's different than our normal way.
Yeah, so we're both kind of frustrated with how we did digital reviews, because depending on the lighting, depending on what computer we were using, like you couldn't even see what we were showing you on our iPad or tablet or whatever. So we're trying a different way. So if we crash and burn, you've been forewarned. But let us know how, what you think about it. So I'm going to switch. And so that's what we look like now.
Awesome. So the Curls book is what we're reviewing. It's by Hunter Hammersen.
Yes.
It is Curls 2. We've reviewed the first one before and absolutely loved it. So when this one came out, I begged Hunter Hammersen, Hunter, to send it to us. Ugh, words today. So there are a bunch of different curls. Curls refers to the specific shape of the finished objects. So, and they're really, really pretty.
Yeah, there's a gallery layout. This is the digital version of the book. The pictures aren't clickable, which is kind of makes me a little bit sad, but at the same time it does tell you what page, so it's not difficult to go to. We are only going to show you guys the picture pages, not the charts, because we can't give away the secret sauce.
And this whole book is only charted. There are no written directions, so you have to be able to deal with charts in order to knit the items in this book.
That being said, she does give you an overview of charts. I mean, it's helpful to already know how to read charts, but even if you were a novice, you could probably make it work. So she does do a little introduction to talk about how it started.
But she doesn't talk about how she named. So all these charts, or these curls, have really interesting names this time. And I want to know, Hunter, where the names came from, because they're all like
sort of Old English. Like,
yeah, to some degree. But they're all almost like 7 deadly sins, but not.
Yeah.
So
they all seem to deal with like dishonesty and trickery and things like that. So, and we checked on our blog. I mean, we didn't do an extensive read, but we checked in the book and on the blog, and we're not sure where they came from. So
where the names came from, but they're fun for sure.
Yeah. So these are the shapes all laid out. This is what it looks like when you're not actually wearing them. But as we go through, you'll see the beauty shots of the patterns and the different ways that you can
tuck them in different ways. Some of them are as small as like 50 inches. Some of them are as large as 80 inches. You can just continue knitting them
until you run
out of yarn, or to whatever shape. You can use whatever yarn you want with these.
Yeah.
So it's really, really cool.
So she gives you sort of an overview of how the curl is built. We're not going to stray too long there, and then she talks a bit about charts and blocking and swatching and that sort of thing. And then it's sort of right on into the pattern. So we're going to just briefly show you the patterns as we go through them. I do have a favorite, and it's not that far into the book.
Okay.
So we've got mendacity.
I like this. And this uses an interesting technique where it's like a cluster stitch almost, where the yarn over is going over 3 stitches in order to create that elongated effect. It's really, really pretty.
Yeah, in order to create this sort of slip stitch look. It's a very interesting way that she does it. So we're still figuring this out, sorry. So there's another beauty shot of mendacity. There's 18 patterns in this book.
There's falsity.
And this one's in a DK weight.
The first one was as well.
We've got, this one's my favorite, prevarication.
And that's out of a lace weight.
And a buffalo mix one.
We think it's a bijou basin.
Yeah.
Lace weight yarn. Really, really pretty.
You have a mouse over there too if you want to take control.
Wow. Look at me. I'm so special. I'm going to let you cook her.
So that's prevarication.
We have dueling masters. I can just see how well that's going to work out.
Deceit. So you see the theme in the names. Yeah, this one looks like it wouldn't be too difficult for somebody who sort of wants to start on the easier side of it. It looks like, it's a very simple repeating pattern, so it doesn't look like it would really stretch you too terribly much. And I really appreciate that she's got beauty shots of at least 2 beauty shots for each pattern.
And they're styled differently for each of those beauty shots, which I also really appreciate. I like this. I think Perfidy is my favorite.
Yeah, it's very, I don't know, I can see it being a very versatile thing because it in and of itself, it doesn't make too bold of a statement, so you could wear it with a lot of different things.
I feel like it would be pretty in like a splattered yarn as well as a semi-solid.
Cool. Yeah.
For sure.
So she's got it being worn different ways. Pretense, I really like that one too because it's got like a drop stitch ladder here.
Yes.
And then a bit of a lace peeking through as well. Really interesting. Her brain is fascinating.
Hunter's brain is amazing.
I've never heard this word before. Taradiddle?
We did look some of the words up because I was like, that sounds so familiar, like Canterbury Tale. My Canterbury Tales of 12th grade English was coming back to me.
And that's so beautiful. Like, and you can see like here where she styles it, down here is the long edge, like the wide edge of the curl, and then this is the tip that's just wrapped around. And
just a little bit.
Yeah.
With a pin, a special shawl pin, that would be really, really pretty.
It looks kind of Parisian to me. Equivocation. This one's more of a cabled, sort of a thicker, denser knit, and
it's a larger one as well.
And
like we said earlier, you can do these out of any yarn. You just need to make sure that you have enough. When you change gauge, of course, when you change gauge, it eats up either more or less yarn. So that's just something to be aware of. That's gorgeous.
Yeah, we've got Artifice, and this one's more of a sort of a leafy lace pattern, and it sits a little bit more openly, and she's got this one styled more as your traditional shawl with the
wraparound.
Yeah, with the wraparound. Words are important. I like this one a lot.
I do too.
This cozenage, another word I've never seen before, but I do like this sort of honeycomb effect that she's got going on. And that's also
and that looks like
accomplished
it's
with
thicker weight.
Yes, with slipped and drop stitches maybe. I don't want to pull it up and give away the secret sauce while we're reviewing it. Laura really likes this one.
I love Subterfuge. It's really, really pretty.
This sort of makes me think of Hunter because a lot of her socks gravitate more towards this sort of simple but impactful
stitch pattern.
Yeah, cable-y usually stitch pattern. It's very Hunter and it's beautiful, and it's got this sort of like I-cord edge, which just gives it another little powerful detail that I really like. Trickery. This one's,
I like that one too.
This one's chart is a little intimidating.
Yeah, it is.
But it does have a really beautiful effect that's reversible to some degree. So that's one that I would like to have made for me, not to actually make. And
I love this one. Yeah, that's really, really pretty because it's dense enough of a pattern that it looks like it would be warm and cozy, but at the same time it's got a really gorgeous lace detail to it.
Yeah. I just love the way she styles these things.
So pretty.
Fakery. I love that word. Yeah, and this one is more of an elongated
leaf
pattern. It's very elegant looking, and a beautiful shiny yarn. I think that would be a great like date night piece.
Yeah. Go ahead and click on her other books. The last one. Yeah. So there is a Curls 1 book, and I've knit a Curls out of that, and I just absolutely love it. I highly recommend if you're looking for maybe some simpler ones to get started off with, get both these books because they're both amazing.
Oh, yes.
And start with that one, and then maybe work your way up to this one, or there's simple enough patterns in here. But the other one has smaller like the charts are not as big.
Yeah, they're a little more approachable for the most part. There are some that are a bigger bite, but yeah, for the most part, the first book is more of an introduction to the idea of curls and how they're made, and so it's a little, it doesn't seem quite as intimidating as some of the patterns in this book. I don't think any of them are undoable. That's not a word, but it just, it's all on how much you want it. Like, how much do you really want it?
How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So, in my opinion, awesome book. We love Hunter's stuff. We have that total bias going up front. This was sent to us for review, but we would have bought it if she had not sent it. So, we love Hunter's stuff. She always has, if you're not a member of her mailing list, I would totally recommend doing that as well. Whenever she releases a new pattern, she sends out coupon codes. Oh. Which I've used many a time.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so definitely, and every once in a while she'll do, like, if you sign up for my mailing list, you can have a free pattern.
Well, that's cool.
So she does some really nice stuff for the people on her mailing list as well. She's just an awesome person. So that's Curls 2 by Hunter Hammersen. Go get it, because it's amazing.
Do it now.
It retails for $21.95 US.
And if you buy it on her website, you can get the print book and the digital for that price, or you can do the digital only on Ravelry. At least that's how it was when I linked the pattern right now.
Things change. You never know. So, I have been reading The Gallery, which is a middle grade mystery by Laura Marks Fitzgerald. It was recommended to me by Jessica's niece, actually. Recommends books to me. And her sister does, too. Her sister's a teacher.
Gabby? Is that her name?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so Gabby had read Under the Egg by the same author and really enjoyed it. I actually have that on hold from my local library. But this was a Junior Library Guild selection that came to me. So when it came in, gorgeous cover, immediately drew my eye. It takes place in the 1920s. The main character's point of view, it starts off with her in a nursing home. She is very sarcastic. And some girl comes to interview her, a journalist, because it's her 100th birthday, and they're doing it's your 100th birthday type thing, her 90th birthday, yay, and she's just so disgusted by the whole thing, and so she decides to tell her own story, and it is the story of her as a 12-year-old girl. Her mother was a housekeeper. It is the 1920s, and her mother is the housekeeper for this newspaper magnate whose wife has been locked in her rooms and refuses and is restricted to her rooms. And there is a mystery behind why is she locked in her rooms, why there's these pieces of art that she sends down that kind of relay secret messages. And it's a really interesting look at the 1920s, and it's actually inspired by real events. So in the very back of the book, it talks about, when I'm looking for ideas to create a book, the author says, I just Google random things like bombings 1920s. And she draws inspiration from newspaper articles or terrorist 1920s, and she looks and sees what's going on, and anarchism at that point was very big, and there were actually bombings going on. Anarchists were bombing different areas, but there was this explosion in a mansion, and that kind of created the storyline for this. So if you're into 1920s, it kind of reminds me of some E.L. Konigsberg, The Mixed Up Files of Mrs. Basil E. Frankenweiler, if you're a big fan of that kind of thing. It is a little dense of a mystery, like Chasing Vermeer would be another one if you enjoyed that, or The Mysterious Benedict Society. This would be a good one for you to pick up. Or Westingame. Did you ever read Westingame? I love Westingame. Oh, Westingame is the best by Raskin. Oh, I love that mystery. Anyway, I enjoyed it, and it's been passed along to one of my teacher friends. So hopefully he'll enjoy it as well. I just finished listening to the second Penderwick book, which was Penderwick's on Gatham Street, maybe? Gatham Street. Character driven, very nostalgic, but with a little witty edge to it, so really good. Those ones will be great read-alouds for anyone. If you enjoyed like Little Women and Secret Garden type books growing up, and you want to convey that kind of nostalgia to your own kids, these are character-driven books, And they're very, very sweet. They're about 4 sisters, and their mother has died of cancer, which is like a heart-wrenching scene at the beginning. But I actually like the second book better than the first book. So there's 4 in the series. I've borrowed them from my library, and I'm going through them. I'm also just started listening to an amazing audiobook that came highly recommended. Dumpling by Julie Murphy. And I've heard really, like, just started listening to it. And it is about a girl in Texas who works at a fast food restaurant who is a bigger girl. And she lives in the small Texas town that is known for its beauty pageants. And that is as far as I have gotten. So it's really tongue-in-cheek humor, very down-to-earth. And I cannot wait to... I've heard spoilers of the end, but I cannot wait to read it myself. Or listen to it. I'm going to listen to it. I have 5 days left on that checkout, so I better hustle
it's a library book.
Yeah, I better hustle and flow. A lot of times if I'm uncertain if I want to get a book for my library, just because my library budget only stretches so far, and I knew it's more of a YA. It's definitely more of a YA. Like, it starts off with a little bit of cussing, for sure. If I'm uncertain about how much cussing there is, and if it would be appropriate for the grade level that I teach, then I tend to get it from the public library and listen or read it myself and then kind of decide. I wish I had money for all the books. I wish I had money for all the books. But
I get that. But it's good that you do that, because we're in an area where parents are more likely to request anything controversial be banned.
There are some challenges. I've not had a challenge in my library for a while. That's me knocking on wood. That's not someone at your door. Because that's not a fun conversation on either side. But, yeah, we had one of our intermediate schools had drama challenged last year. So, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, what are you reading? Since I put on my librarian hat and now I'm taking it off, what are you reading?
I read a couple books this week that Laura recommended. Well, she recommended the first one. I don't know if you've even read the second one or not.
I've read the second one.
And I've actually recommended
Leslie's giving away all my secret sauce.
Well, this one's not really...
No, this one's not bad.
It's not... I'm hoping that at some point it will get there, but it's not yet.
You've not finished the second one?
Yeah, I have. Okay. But there's not a third one out yet.
No, there's not. I keep hoping that there will be a third one.
So the book is Jack of Thorns, and then the follow-up is Night of Flames. I'm pretty sure there will be more. I mean, they left it very open for more.
These were Kindle Unlimited.
Yes, they were Kindle Unlimited books.
But they were good Kindle Unlimited.
I agree.
Which is hard to find.
It is. They do have an element of male-male romance, although nothing even remotely...
Kissing, maybe?
There's kissing a little bit at the end of the first, and then in the middle of the second, and at the end of the second, there's some more, like...
Relationship.
Yeah.
Adult relationship.
But nothing too crazy.
Not graphic.
No, nothing graphic. But they are male-male romance, and they do... But it's interesting because it's modern day. It's, to some degree, it's fantasy. They talk about, in the first one, the main character thinks he's invoked a god, but they're not sure whether it is a god or whether it was just someone who sort of preyed on him requesting one. Anyway.
So what I like about these books is it's a very flawed main character.
Oh, yeah.
He's had serious addiction issues. Mm-hmm. To the point that he OD'd, and it's only the fact that he is descended from gods that he survived. Mm-hmm. So he's extremely flawed, and the character that he ends up
having a romantic interest in.
Yeah, his friend is also incredibly flawed.
Yes.
So together they almost create a whole person, but not really.
Yeah.
So I do like the fact that they're extreme, and they know that they're extremely flawed. Like,
there is no happily ever ending. I mean,
they're very upfront with it.
happily ever after ending.
Yeah.
I just made something that didn't exist. Yeah, but it's still, like, it keeps your interest, which is not always easy, because sometimes I'll get, 30 pages into a book and I'll be like, you've misspelled 7 words that are super easy words and used them the wrong way. I'm done with you. And especially with Kindle Unlimited, you kind of have to...
with self-publishing in general,
Yeah.
I mean, when you go, and not to say that publishing people do not go through editors.
No, and there are
some of them do, but
some absolute gems out there, but it can be hard. That whole Amazon free first chapter or whatever, free sample, oh gosh, it helps weed out so much. But anyway, so that's what I was reading. I finished, thank goodness, Rhaenyra Revelations. I was, at the end, like, I don't know, there was still an hour left in the book, and I mean, it held me the whole way. Like, even an hour left in the book, I was like crying silently because there was a huge thing happening, and it was very emotional. But by the end, I was ready to say goodbye to the characters for a while. So I'm glad to be taking a break from that, and I'm re-listening now to Six of Crows because
I need to re-listen
I
to
downloaded the next one, Crooked Kingdom, but I haven't. Like, I've read so many books since then that I've completely forgotten most of the characters. So, and I didn't read it until maybe 6 months ago, but
it does, because it's a heist novel. It's like,
and there's
very much
so many characters
Ocean's
involved
11,
in it.
yes.
Yeah, that's a very good way of saying it, with the Ocean's 11. Yeah, so I need to re-listen to it. So
she totally refers to it as like an Ocean's 11 type.
Oh,
novel.
does she?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
She works in the industry of Hollywood.
Oh, well, that's what I'm re-listening to that. I'm like 5 minutes.
Good. I need to re-listen to that, and I want to listen to Crooked Kingdom. So I need all the listening time.
Yeah.
It's so hard.
And you talked about what you were reading.
Yep. And things that we have coming up. We will be at SAF. We will just be there Saturday. Leslie has a morning class, and I have an afternoon class, so I'm not certain. We're gonna look at the schedule and see if there is, besides at lunchtime, a time that we can do.
Yeah, depending on when the market closes, maybe we can do it after Laura's class.
Yes.
But we'll see.
Definitely.
But more than likely, if you see us there, you'll see one of us, not the other.
That is how it is.
Yeah. Let's see, what else? We wanted to talk about the Favorite Things collection.
Yeah, so Hohi came out with a new collection. It is 4 patterns. And I love this gray one with the sweater. Oh, it's so awesome.
Yes. So it's her basic and gray Favorite Things collection, and she sent it to us, I wouldn't say for review, just as sort of a thank you, and she wants to give away a couple of copies, which is wonderful. So we're just going to show some of these patterns, because if you don't follow her, you may not always know when a new pattern comes out.
So there's 4 patterns in this collection. There's a shawl.
Yep, this is the All I Want shawl,
which is gorgeous.
It starts with the random eyelets, and then it gets into a more frequent lace pattern, and then you've got this accent edge here, which is gives it a little oomph, a little something extra.
And it's a heavier weight yarn. It uses an Aran weight. So 340 yards of an Aran weight in color A and 175 in color B. I think it'd be great for like Malabrigo, or
I think it'd be good for handspun.
Yeah, that's true too.
But yeah, Malabrigo would be a good one.
I just don't spin hair and hands.
You could also go over to Yarn Ideas and see. Yeah, so Miss Babs Yowza, that'd be a great one.
Yeah, that's a little bit lighter than an Aran, but you could definitely use that. Tosh Chunky would be amazing. Does that person have a picture of their finished thing? Did they finish something? They did. Look at that. That's pretty.
Hohi does some amazing. She like really test knits her stuff. She has like a dozen people test knit everything she puts out. So by the time she releases a pattern, there's several variations to look at. So all right, so we're gonna go back.
I think I might like that actually better than the original picture.
And then this one,
I love this one.
I absolutely have to have someone make for me, or maybe I'll make it myself. It's a sport weight.
You can totally do that.
Yeah.
It's got pockets.
Yeah, but it's not overly fitted, but it's got structure.
But it's not crazy, like wide, like boxy is.
Yeah, and it's got pockets. The sleeves are tapered really nicely. And, of course, sizing-wise, she does a great job. From
37 and a half all the way up to 58 and a half.
Yep. And again, you can, by the time she puts the pattern out, there's already
36 projects.
Yeah,
already.
at least a dozen projects out there for you to look at.
What other yarns?
Look at her! Look how bright and beautiful that is.
Oh, it's button jar blue.
That's
the
beautiful.
Madeline color. That's really pretty. Get a
Yeah.
yarn ideas. What else have people used?
So for sport weight, Tosh Merino Light, that's more of a fingering, but I guess at a loose enough gauge because the sweater isn't overly fitted, that would be perfectly fine. Bare Naked, I'm all about Bare Naked.
Are you all about Bare Naked? I love her stuff. Blue Moon Fiber, it's lightweight, yeah.
Cascade, Heritage Silk, that would be a good one because it would lay
it's more
really
of a fingering
nicely.
weight too, yeah.
I forgot I don't have backspace enabled as a back key. So that's another one that's absolutely on my must knit list. And then we've got the textured pullover.
Which I like.
And you sort of have to zoom in to see it, but between each of the skinny stripes, she's got this row of texture in the solid color. I don't know if that zoom really did it any favors. You can see it better here on the sleeve. So it's like a moss stitch, sort of.
Yeah.
Alternation in the colors, and
I'd like to see it without the without the stripes, just with the texture.
why don't we go and look and see?
See if someone did it. I bet you no one has yet.
So let's go here. Yeah, because she. Oh, no,
look.
this one's. All right. Oh yeah,
Look at
that's
that.
beautiful. That is beautiful.
See, I like that better.
Yeah.
Because it's got that garter ridge.
Ooh, this one's pretty too. It's a more subtle, like with that green, but it's beautiful too.
You could do the same color family.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah,
that one,
this one's a
lemon
lighter.
chiffon.
Yeah. Oh, that's really pretty. That'd be a good summery one. In something light. So, and this one goes up to 4X, so this one's slightly larger. Oh, 58 and a half inches. So from 33 and a half to 58 and a half inches. She recommends, 2 to 4 inches of positive ease. So that's, I always love it when a designer tells you how much ease to use.
Yes.
And then Trevor is similar, but it's more of a swingy bottom.
Yeah.
And it
only has the striping on the very, very bottom.
Yeah, and the accent on the sleeves, which is always good. I think you could make it longer and do it with leggings, which would be super cute.
Totally.
So this one's another that's like a top-down raglan, and this one is in fingering weight.
It's in loft. Yeah,
this one she wants you to have 4 to 6 inches of positive ease. And let's take a look at some other projects.
Yeah, I think that would be awesome tunic length with some leggings, some LuLaRoes.
Look at all of these. Ooh, she did sort of a gradient-ish look. Oh, so did she.
Ooh, I prefer the gradient.
How beautiful that is.
See, that's pretty.
Oh, that's so pretty.
This is basically what Leslie and I do when we get together.
So what we're going to do, those are the 4 patterns that are in the favorite knits collection. And you can buy the whole collection for $15, so that's what, $3.50 a pattern, or you can buy them individually. I think that they're all $6 each or something. $5 for the shawl, and I think the sweaters are $6. Maybe I'm wrong. Yep, $6.50. So if you like, at least 3 of them, then it's worth it to buy the whole collection. If not, I like that she gives you the option to buy them individually. Yeah.
The Woolly Wormhead book we reviewed last week, you can also buy those patterns individually. Lois emailed me and told me that.
That's good.
Yeah.
So, in order to enter to win that collection, what we're going to ask you to do is we're going to open a thread
in our Ravelry group.
In the Ravelry group, yes. And He said to enter, just tell us what your favorite thing to knit is. Specific to the pattern, if you always knit a specific, like for babies, Laura knits Milos. Like, I can tell you that.
Milo. Although this one might be, I don't know, we're going to have to see how this one comes out.
Yeah.
Because this might be a good way to use up leftovers, for sure.
And Gigi knits preemie hats a lot, so that's, I would imagine that's probably one of her favorite things to knit.
I knit afterthought heel socks quite a bit.
Right, yeah. So, I mean, we're interested to see what you guys think. So we'll I think she wanted to give away 2 copies, so we'll pick 2 people at random next week to give that away. And you guys let us know how you liked the way that we recorded this time, whether that was, like, useful. We're using new software, so we may have to tweak some things.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We have Patreon prizes to give away.
Yes, and while I do have the list up, and in the interest of, like, transparency, I would be happy to share that with you. It's got addresses and phone numbers and all that, so we're not going to, we're just going to pull up the random number generator and pull those. So do you have the yarn and the
I just
hand
have
spun?
the yarn. I have not spun the hand spun yet.
Okay. So we're going to...
There's only so much room in my back.
All right.
So this is Never Enough Time. And it's in the Goosebumps colorway. It's so Halloween-y. I love it.
Oh, I'm going to add to the end of this.
So this is Goosebumps. It's 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. It's 231 yards of the main color, 100 yards of that heel toe color way. So... this would be perfect for, like, Rose City rollers.
It is entirely possible that I have this set for myself. All right, so this is for anyone who gave $2.50 reward, or $2.50 per episode, and we had 60 people. The first row is a header row, so I'm going to do between 2 and 61, and the winner of that is number 15. So that one is going to Jane Braverman. I think her rivalry name is just Knitter, because she was at SSK.
She just got into
SKP. Yeah, you're right. She did.
Let me write down that.
She's having a good week.
Let me write that down though. Otherwise, I want to. Since I have to mail stuff out.
I'm gonna highlight it right here. So I'll send it to you.
Okay.
And then for hand spun, we're gonna go ahead and draw, but we don't have the hand spun to actually give you yet.
I have to spin it. It'll get spun this week, and I'll send it. We'll show it next podcast.
Yeah. So
I'll try to not be a month behind like I was this month.
I can always spin some if you want. I mean, it doesn't bother me if you want that. So between
one of us, we'll spin stuff.
So this one had 47 supporters, so it's between 2 and 48 because the first row is a header row. And
15. That's super weird.
That also gave us 15. So Michelle Miller, and she's in Pennsylvania. So Michelle,
Where's she in Pennsylvania?
Hanover?
Oh, I know where that is. That's where they make Hanover pretzels. FYI, or they used to.
So, Michelle, we have your address, so we'll reach out to you and make sure that we have your address correct and everything before we send everything out. And so thank you to all of our Patreon folks. For the past month or so when we've been recording at Laura's, I haven't put the people who've given $5 in the episode because of the way the video records and how to pull it into the recording software or whatever, but starting today, it will happen again. So a genuine thank you to all of those who donate through Patreon. And sort of coming off of that, we have this new cool thing that I sort of talked to Laura about, but mostly we're just going to do it now. So what I want to do is each month I want to have a thread open on Ravelry. And you don't have to be a Patreon person to submit an idea, but you do have to be a Patreon supporter in order to win. So it's going to be called Dream Skein. So basically, go out and find something absolutely beautiful on Etsy or Big Cartel or whatever, and link it in that thread.
It has to be something that we can purchase, though.
Yes.
It can't be like, as much as I love Lollipop Yarn, she updates Sundays, and that's when we typically record, so that is really hard for us to
We
get.
can't, I'm not...
There's not always something that we'll try our best.
I don't mind it being something that we have to be, like, we have to wait a couple of weeks for, but I'm not stalking for it.
I'll try to stalk, but...
Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to open a thread called Dream Skein. And you can put in as many entries as you want, one per comment or whatever. Post. That's the word. One per post. And for every $1 that you donate in Patreon, you get an entry into the Dream Skein for that particular month.
So if they donate $1 an episode, it would be 4 entries for the month. Okay.
If they donate $2.50 an episode, then that's 4 episodes in a month usually, so that's 10 entries, right?
If they donate 50 cents, then it would be
2 entries.
2,
yes, because we'll do this drawing once a month. Yeah, every little bit helps, and helps us find cool stuff. And I think this Dream Skein will be a really fun way to promote, especially indies.
Yeah, definitely.
New people. Because they'll get the exposure of us talking about it and other people looking at the thread and sort of doing their wish list. This probably isn't going to do your budget any favors, but once a month we will draw.
It's a fun new way of doing stuff. Yeah.
The Patreon people don't have to do anything extra. Like, you don't have to do anything extra to enter. If you... Once a month, I'll pull the list. I'll translate the number of dollars into the number of entries. I'll pull people, and those people can go on the Dream Skein thread and pick what they want. One skein that they want. Right?
So instead of us purchasing it and then they just win that skein, we're going to be personal shoppers.
Yes.
Okay.
Sort of.
Hopefully we can get that one skein and it won't be gone by the time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll work with them individually.
Yeah.
If for some reason that particular color is no longer made, then we'll do a follow-up or whatever. You're making this too complicated.
I'm making this complicated.
I don't know. I think it would be fun. I think it's another way to have a fun interaction in the group and to give back to people who maybe can't always do $3 an episode. Maybe can only do $1 an episode. Or like the people who donate $5 an episode, you know, they get a thank you on our show, but they don't get entered to win anything else. So it feels like this.
Yeah, no, I
This
agree.
is a little.
No,
a way
plus
for
it's
us
fun to shop and try out new stuff for us.
It's
too.
also a way for us to get to find new favorite shops.
Yeah,
it is a little selfish
and make those connections.
Yes,
for sure.
So
does it have to just be skeins of yarn, or can it be fiber?
It could be fiber.
Bags.
It could be bags. I would, Laura and I will talk and put a reasonable limit on the value. Something between $25 and $40 probably. Yeah. It could be a tool, like, a really cool sock blocker or something,
Yeah, that would be fun. Those mitten blockers that Susan B. Anderson just posted, that would be a cool thing.
Yeah, so we'll put a reasonable limit on it, and we'll start the thread tomorrow, Tuesday probably, because I'll have to do editing and stuff. And you guys tell us what you think of that.
We'll try it for a month, for sure. We'll do it for the month of October, and go from there.
And the post I'll put all our crazy ranting in a more concise format in the post, so it's easier to understand. But please ask questions if something that we said didn't make sense or whatever.
Definitely.
Because we probably said something dumb that we forgot. So.
An SSK quick update. We are waiting on one contract, and then we are going to select vendors, and then sign-ups will occur.
Yes. After
that, the vendors might not be announced
before sign-ups,
but they will before the sign-up period is typically over.
And before deposits are due.
It just depends on how long it takes the vendors to get contracts back to us. A lot of people are going to Rhinebeck this weekend, which is amazing.
Is it this weekend? It's the third weekend in October. I don't think it's till next weekend, is it?
I feel like people
it is.
Have been
because
saying
the Saturday was the first. You're right. Okay.
Yeah. So.
You're right. That being said, if you're a vendor, we haven't chosen or notified anybody, so don't freak out.
And we probably won't until after we get our one contract back.
For those of you who are interested in applying as an attendee for SSK, the prices have gone up a little bit. It's sort of beyond our control.
Scarrett Bennett raised their prices on both their rooms and
their
on
meals.
the food.
So the prices will go up.
And on the space in general,
a little bit. Not astronomically, but a little bit. And we'll have all that when we talk about the application process. So I think that's it. We still have our Halloween craft all the things going on.
Yes, we do, and that's tons of fun. Maybe I'll get to participate. Maybe.
Yeah, you basically just anything you bake or
craft in any
craft,
sort of way.
weave, knit, spin,
all
patch,
the cross stitch.
I
want cross stitching in my house.
Find a way to make it sort of Halloweeny or fall-y and enter it, and you can win prizes.
There you go.
So, I think that's it. We've been talking for over an hour, which we haven't done in a while.
Yeah, it's been fun though.
Yeah, it has.
We were killing a lot of time so I could finish little bits of butter.
So I think that's it. We'll talk to you guys again next weekend, and if you're going to Rhinebeck, we're totally jealous and hope you have an amazing time.
But we'll see people at SAF.
Yes.
And we'll be at Maryland.
Yes. Well, we always go to Maryland.
Yeah.
Because Jane is an absolutely lovely hostess, and so it costs us very little to attend. So, that's it. That's all I got.
Okay.
All right.
See y'all later. Bye, y'all.